Voter check-in. This is what they're going to do at the site. This is what the poll workers are going to do. Photo and signature ID. Photo and signature. The signature can be on the same ID. Does not have to be. As long as it is one of the legal photos, and we'll show you what those are. They will compare the address that's on the record that they are given with the address that the OSC SOE gives them. They will compare the person's photo. It should be close. You should be able to recognize that person on that photo. And compare the signature. It doesn't have to be a perfect match. You know, when we sign, especially when they're signing the electronic signature pad, it never really comes out precisely right. But you know, there's always quirks on a signature. You know, there's a swirl here, or a line here, or an odd shape of various letters. Okay? As long as you can recognize that kind of thing, that's a valid signature. But the voter must sign it himself. I don't care how bad off they are. If they just had a stroke a month ago and now can no longer do anything to make an X, okay, nobody else can sign for him. He now must change his signature legally. There's a form for that, and then once he's done that, he signs however he can sign, whatever it looks like. No one else can do it. Grandson can't do it. Father can't do it. Wife can't do it. He must do it. They will update name and addresses as required. They will use a particular part of a form that I will show you, and they will make both name and address changes potentially, depending whether in the early voting or whether in precincts. And the procedure there is a little different. But all you have to know is they are allowed to make those adjustments at the site. These are the legal IDs. Florida driver's license, Florida state ID, a bank card that has a photo on it, a student ID that has a photo on it, a passport, military ID with photos on it, and then there are three odd things here. Retirement center ID, believe it or not, as long as it has a photo on it. Neighborhood association ID, believe it or not, if it has a photo on it. And a public assistance ID, believe it or not, if it has a photo on it. Well, these two make sense to you. Well, you understand them. This one you may not understand. It could be the First Baptist Church who does an outreach program for meals for displaced people. That issue identification cards is one of their, recognize them as one of their clients. If they do, they have a photo on it. That's what that means. You'll notice there are addresses on these, right? Is there an address on this one? Is there an address on these? Is there an address on here? Is there an address here? So how are they going to make an address comparison? We'll talk about that.
They don't discuss addresses anymore.
Aha! See, we'll fix that.
Okay.
Okay, here you go. The address dialogue and procedures. Right? They will examine the voter's ID with whatever information's on it, with the SOE record. If that information matches, no further address discussion may occur. If it matches, thank you, sir. Here you go. Here's your pass. We'll see you later. If they do not match, the voter must be asked if he or she wishes to update or change the address. If he or she answers no, okay, give him a pass and he goes off. Does that make sense?
No. Nope, it's weird.
Why not? All right. Here's what the law implies. The law implies that they sent us, the SOE, a document that says, I hereby swear that the information above is accurate. If he then says, I do not wish to change it, the SOE is bound by law to accept that information he's already sworn to. No additional address information may be solicited. Now, on the other hand, if in the conversation he says, I don't understand, what is different between my record here and what you have? He just released you from the law. Now you can carry on whatever conversation is necessary to clarify things. But the law says, if he says no, you must accept what's on the SOE record. They must. If a voter is unclear about his address, you'd be surprised at how many come in and have no idea where they live. Last time they recognized an address was 4 years ago, and they lived in California. Provides an ID without an adequate address. I showed you all the ones that don't have an adequate address, right? They're all the ones, except for the Florida ID and the driver's license. The voter shall be asked to provide their address verbally or in writing. The law actually doesn't say in writing, it says show. Well, how do you show my address? How do I show you my address if I don't put it in writing or have something in writing? If the voter's address is ultimately in question, can't figure it out, you've gone through all the hoops, they've gone through all the hoops, they can't figure it out, okay, they must vote for original ballot.
Unless they want to change it.
They can't change it.
Yes.
That's
And
what
vote- and vote-
all of this is about.
And then vote regular.
Then they vote regularly. Okay, that's what all this, I showed you the processing a voter. One of the things they do is they can change name, they can change address. That is legal at the site. Process is different, but they can do it. Okay? Any
That's
other
just
questions?
their ID, it's like, I want to change that and this is why, or they just say, no, I just want to change it.
Whatever they tell you.
And we were told they don't even have to have anything showing their ID.
Whatever they tell you.
Yep.
That is the law.
And does that get verified by
Nope.
somebody down the road?
Down the road.
But they've already voted.
Down the road. Yeah.
Well, what if their address is not in the precinct that they're voting in? If they change their address and
What
it's
early
under...
vote?
Two scenarios. Early voting. In early voting, you can be from any precinct and vote in early voting. Therefore, if you come and you change your address from this precinct to, say, the one up in Brandon, okay, the operator will simply change the address and put it in the system. And the machinery, the computer system, will produce the specific ballot for the new address. That's what will come off the printer. What comes off the printer is the specific ballot for the new address. Okay? In a precinct, they've got to go to the clerk. They fill out the paperwork, they must either confirm that address on the laptop that they have and/or contact the supervisor's phone bank and get verification as to where that new address is. If the new address is in the precinct that they're in, they're given a ballot and they vote normally. If that new address is outside the precinct that they are currently standing in, they are given a special purpose form, told where to go, and then they have to go there to vote.
Will we be watching, somebody be watching, though, the clerks doing this to make
You.
sure they're, okay.
But you won't be able to be close enough to actually see the address note. I mean, you can't, right?
You should not be in a position to interfere, let me put it that way. Some of the sites you'll be able to actually see what's going on. Some of the sites it will be very difficult. If you have any question, however, after the fact, don't challenge that clerk in the middle of things. That's not good form. Right? But after the fact, if you have a question about what the clerk did, clerk, would you explain this to me? I'm not sure I understood what process you used and why you did what you did. Okay, the SOE absentee ballot processing. This is also a contentious item, and this is an area where you need to be watching fairly closely to make sure nothing, no hanky-panky is taking place. This may seem a little odd to you, but this is under law. Okay, but this is what they're supposed to do. If somebody comes in and the record shows that they have been mailed a ballot, they will inform the voter that that's what the record shows. And they will ask them, would you like to vote here anyway? You know, I've always wondered why they do that, but they nevertheless will bring it in and say, yeah, I want to vote here anyway. All right, no problem, give me your ballot, you have it, yes I do. Accept the ballot, they have a procedure they follow, and then they give them the local ballot and they go vote. Okay? They have the ballot, they just turn it in, and then they go vote. There's a new procedure out there, there's a new piece of equipment, and it's a mini iPad.
Right.
Okay, that they tested the last time. They're going to expand it this time because apparently it was pretty successful for them. And that procedure is different. Okay, because that's live.
And early voting's not.
What I've just showed you here is what early voting is required.
So they're not live.
When they press the accept signature button, yes, it completes the vote. But they take it, they cancel it, put it in a forms envelope, and the guy is given his pass and he goes. voter that does not have his ballot after he's been told, my record shows that you've had a ballot mailed. The question is, do you have it with you? The answer is no. Early voting, not a problem. Do you still want to vote here? Yes, I do. When you get home, tear that thing up, because as soon as I process you here normally, your record immediately electronically gets recorded. So that ballot that he's got is of no use. It's a little different whether it's a precinct or early voting. Precinct, as soon as he says, no, I don't have it with me, directly to the clerk, and then the clerk must process. Okay? In early voting, the guy, the EVID operator can do it. Okay? Precinct, got to go to the clerk. Without SOE confirmation, this is confirmation initially, which includes the rep operator in a precinct, or calling to the phone bank in a precinct. If there is, it's not possible to confirm with the SOE in its records, then that person must vote a provisional ballot. If at any time there is a question about the ballot, guy comes in, he's a little old, he mailed it 4 weeks ago, he sees all the signs, he's a dutiful citizen, been voting all his life, he comes in and he votes. Sir, my record shows you've already voted. No, I haven't. You submitted an absentee ballot. No, I didn't. He's not going to have it. No argument is going to be conducted. He's going to be immediately sent to the clerk for a provisional ballot. A completed absentee ballot may be dropped off at an early voting site. See people coming in and putting them in a ballot box. That's good. Not good at a precinct. Can't do it there. Voter assistance, pretty straightforward. We've never had assistance before. There's a form that they fill out, declaration to request assistance. The person who does the assisting, another form, declaration to provide assistance. If he's already recorded as requesting assistance historically, he doesn't have to fill out the first form, but the person providing assistance must always fill out the second form. Okay? Biggest thing is, the assistor may do anything that the voter asks him to do, including actually mark the ballot if he's incapable of marking the ballot himself. So if you see that, not a problem. As long as you know that he's filled out the forms, that assistor may provide whatever assistance the voter has requested of him.